Hey, this is Tyler.
This is Carter.
You got some booze you want us to try?
We're gonna try some booze.
Y'all ready for some shit?
In your face!
Booze trials!
Honk honk.
So you think you're man enough to drink a beer from Canada? Well, buckle your safety belts, cause we're about to try from Unibroue brewery Trois Pistoles.
I kind of wish Mike was here right now just so that he could tell me how to properly pronounce this.
Trois
I'm
Pistoles.
gonna take a wild guess. It's probably pronounced Trois Pistoles. That's just what I'm gonna guess. It's the proper pronunciation.
From Canada.
But here's the reason I just did that, though. Here's a little interesting fact about Quebecians, because this is made in Quebec. An
Obviously.
interesting fact about Quebecians and why I decided to take a wild guess at it.
Or as my grandpa calls them, queerbecks.
Yeah, well, here's good reason for that. Quebecians, and trust me, I'm saying Quebecians because that's how they insist on me calling them. Quebecians hate it when people try to guess French and get it wrong. They would rather you ask them how to pronounce something
They are a
than to
pompous
try
lot.
to guess
They are.
what it is.
Oh, we don't like it.
At least I'm not
Let's
sitting
try
here.
to see from.
Who fucking
Yeah,
hates
at least-
Canada so much
yeah,
they want to be away from?
Well, check this out, man. Like here, it's not like a.
Fuck Quebec!
It's not like I'm one of those tourists.
Right in the face hole.
I've been to Quebec not too long ago.
I have too.
And I'm not
Fuck them in the face.
Yeah. Well, here's my thing, right? Like
Pompous assholes.
Yeah, at least I'm not one of those tourists that are like, hey, I'm American, speak English, goddammit. Like, at least I'm not one of those guys. So like,
I'm not either,
but they
but they're
treat us like
they're
we're
like,
those people anyway.
Let parlez-vous français?
I'm like, you're not even from France, you fuck ass. You're North American. Anyway,
The one great awesome thing about Quebec though is that
the hookers.
the beer,
Oh, I was gonna say the
which
hookers.
is why we have this.
I was gonna say if you can't drink it, fuck it. Then
But we can drink this, so we don't have to stick our penises in this one.
no, we don't. So anyway,
We've both had this before, by the way. Way back when we were just kind
We
of
go
doing
to
what we're
Vegas.
doing.
We go to
off
Vegas
camera.
see someone like that.
A long time ago, back when we used to not do this shit on camera, we've had this before.
Oh, the church.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
The label is fucking amazing. Yes, that is a cathedral, and that is what appears to me, anyway, to be some sort of dark demon or angel horse. Looks almost like a dark angel horse because
It's like a
of the wings.
Boris Vallejo painting.
It is
on the fucking
it's
bottle.
Caballo Diablo or something along those lines. There is actually a story if you get the actual 6-pack, or 4-pack. This comes in 4-packs. If you actually get the 4-pack, there's a story behind it. And I forgot exactly what it was, but I want to say that this is whatever. Anyway, this is bottle re-fermented ale brewed with spices. I've heard many things about this beer even before I tried it, but I won't get too much into that because I don't want to set any particular expectations. It's been a while since I've had this, and I want to be surprised again.
Fuck Quebec.
Because I remember this being interesting, to say the least, and I don't remember
Well,
good or bad.
It smells good. Smells good.
That does smell good. Oh yeah.
But it's not a smell I'm fond of when I drink beer. I like the smell, but when I go to taste it, I'm gonna be like, sacre bleu.
Is it just
Terry
me?
Blanc.
Is it just me, or does it kind of have a hint of sourness due to the re-fermentation, but overall smell kind of like a wine fruitiness?
That's what I'm afraid of. I'm fucking not.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'm gonna like this beer.
You forgot what it tasted like.
I
too,
did.
didn't you?
That's
It's
why
been
I
a while
picked it
since
out.
we've done this. It's
That's
been
why I
about a couple
picked-
years ago almost.
I picked it out because I'm like, I want to revisit this fucking fake French thing.
Oh my goodness. I think I remember this being one of those beers that I particularly.
Oh, they're so
liked.
snobbish. They tell you what glass you gotta drink it out of.
Don't drink it out of the champagne flume. You gotta drink it out of the
the other glass, whatever the fuck. Natural source ingredients. I got a picture of trail mix.
He's not joking, folks.
Trois Pistoles lace is a remarkably mellow dark. Remarkably.
It's okay. We'll go ahead and drink it real quick and then read the description.
Fine, fucker.
Come on. Now. Yup.
What?
I like it.
Sorry.
It's very dark, and it does suggest it's dark all over the place.
Let me read this again before
Sorry.
you interrupt me.
Sorry,
Like
go
a
ahead.
dick nut.
I'm just gonna put my head down there.
Trois Pistoles is a remarkably mellow dark ale. To complement its aroma of ripe fruit, it has a pleasant aftertaste that lingers on like old port wine.
Yeah, port wine. It's a very interesting key factor to read. Dude, I'm loving this, man. This is just, it's different. It's so different.
Our show is just fucking went off the rails on this episode.
This is seriously awesome.
You can have the rest of that, by the way.
Oh, don't worry.
I don't hate this beer, but it's not the type of beer I would sit there and be like, oh, I'm going to drink a fucking sixer of this.
You can't. You really can't. The alcohol content is only 9%. So
Only?
Well, I mean, that's kind of high for beer, but it's not like 14 like Prairie Bomb or anything like that. It's 9, which is still above average. So here's the thing: it's 9%, and it's very rich. It's very strong. It's very heavy as a brew. So like, I could get a 4-pack of this, and the way I hardly drink off camera anyway. But when I do drink off camera, it's not very often, and I would maybe have like one of these a week. So I think it'd last me a month.
Yeah.
For a 4-pack of this. But even if you were a daily drinker of this, that's still 4 days. I mean, but I don't see anybody really being able to sit there and go, oh, I'm going to get a whole 4-pack and like chug a lug tonight, and I'm done.
This is a very, much like Quebec, this is a very pompous beer.
You have to have.
It's
true. It
kind of sits there and be like, are you going to drink me or not? Because if you don't, that's fine. I'll find another person who will.
I can kind of finish the Quebec story, I think, a little bit. I went to Quebec City, which is the capital, and they had different microbreweries. And we went to one particular microbrewery restaurant thing where they gave us homemade chips and had all different kinds of stuff, including a sangria flavored beer. So
that sounds fucking atrocious.
It's fucking weird. It was very weird. But they were
but
all
like
so
Canada,
good.
they're just kind of a little off.
Canadians in general are very good with brewing, but Quebec City, that microbrewery had so many different, just like off the wall, like out there stuff, and it kind of goes back to what I like about Prairie versus what you don't like about Prairie. But
off the wall.
Yeah, it's very off the wall. This is a very off the wall beer.
I woke up in Canada. I actually woke up in Quebec in a fucking yard because my grandpa's a truck driver. He's also Canadian, and I went up with him. I was probably about 10 or 11, and I was riding in the back of the truck, a semi truck with him, and I went to sleep. I woke up, and I was in Canada, and I looked outside, and I heard these two guys going. It sounded like fucking Lumiere from Beauty and the Beast. And I was scared. I was like, where the fuck am I? Because Canada, to me, was an English-speaking country.
And it is, largely.
Except for Quebec. And I was like, what the fuck's going on? I was floored. And, of course, I was then excited about the prospect of, like, oh, they speak another language here. And, unfortunately, it's French.
Yeah.
But
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, all I know is that in Canada, they really love the English/French translation thing. So if something's in English, it's bound to be in French.
That's what I was actually going to get to, actually. I went to Canada just not this summer, but this last summer I went to Canada, and I went there for a couple weeks, And when we went up there, what was I going to say about this? Yeah, so when I went up there, right, Quebec, when you go into the province of Quebec, their primary language is French on the billboards. And they do not give you English translations.
No, because they don't give a
fuck. You just have to know French. Going from any of the outside areas, which are primarily English, you just have to know French in order to understand the road signs, really, outside of just like, number 1 to the right. But there's a province right next to it called New Brunswick, where you go there and all the road signs are primarily English on the top with a French translation on the bottom. We talked to a guy in a small New Brunswick town just trying to get directions back onto the main road, and the guy was telling us about how, I guess apparently when they teach you, like, people from New Brunswick love to act like they don't know French when they go into Quebec and just wait for a little bit until, like, they start talking trash about them, and then, like, they'll go ahead and start talking French and be like, yeah, by the way, I know what you said about me. Like, they'll just catch them off guard, like, on purpose just to mess with them. This is, like, awesome. The way New Brunswick people are. It's like, we know 2 languages fluently, but we're not dicks about it.
It's a good way to live life. Yeah. Also, one last thing about Canada that I picked up on that I still do to this day. I put vinegar on my French fries. And if you've never had vinegar on your French fries, you're fucking missing out.
That's a thing in Canada.
Malt
vinegar
Wendy's,
instead of ketchup.
Wendy's have legitimate packages of malt vinegar that you stick on your fries. And it's fucking delicious.
Yeah, I was not a huge fan of this, but, you know, to each their own.
I love it. And so whenever I go to Long John Silver's, I'm like, malt vinegar? I just douse everything in malt vinegar. Yeah. It's delicious.
I like malt vinegar better than regular vinegar. So I'll give it that.
That's a given.
I guess I probably just don't like it because I'm not a fan of vinegar overall. But, like, I like malt vinegar a little bit better because it's at least got a little bit of a sweetness to it. Whereas, like, just regular vinegar is just fucking gross.
Like a cider vinegar is also good too.
Yeah. I don't know. I need to actually try some cider vinegar because apparently it's a really good remedy for things.
Anyway, so a tip from me to you: put malt vinegar on your French fries.
So here's to lots of Canadian just
there are
knowledge.
There are more Wendy's in Canada than McDonald's.
Yeah, and
which is weird.
There's a place called Tim Hortons too, and
fuck, everybody knows about Tim Hortons.
I'm not sure everybody does.
But it's delicious.
Like, I'll put it this way: I've never heard of Tim Hortons before I went to Canada last year, and this guy, I don't think he meant to do it, but he just kind of talked up Tim Hortons a little too much.
I said try it. Maybe I talked it up.
He like I said, he doesn't realize he did it, but he did. He was like, yeah, it's like Panera, but better, blah, blah, blah. And so I was like looking forward to like interesting experience. And it is an interesting experience because we don't have Tim Hortons here in Oklahoma.
No.
But
or in America, really.
Besides like upstate New York and stuff. They do have it. Minus upstate New York.
I've never been in New York, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah. So, what was I going to say about this? Other than just simply that I went there and they have good stuff. It's like to me, it's like almost like a mixture between Dunkin' Donuts and Panera Bread. Like they have like neat sandwiches.
We got sandwiches and soups, and we sell donuts and coffee, and that's the gist of it. Yeah. But I mean, in Canada, it's like soup, sandwich, coffee, donuts. Fuck yeah! The only thing they don't sell is liquor. And
one of the things we did when we went to Ontario, which was the first province we went to.
Ontario, come on.
Ontario. I don't
Ontario.
Ontario. Okay, yeah, it's Ontario. It's Ontario, and Ontario is primarily English, and they don't have to do that French bullshit.
That's where my grandpa's from.
Even though they're like right outside of Quebec too, but
Toronto, eh?
So no, Ontario. So I went to Ontario.
Toronto's in Ontario. It's the capital of Ontario. Yeah, as you would call it.
I don't think we actually went through Toronto when we went through.
Toronto is the shit.
But we went to Niagara Falls on the Canada side, and they say that Canada side is the better side to see Niagara Falls from because you get all the view, whereas on the American side you don't get as much of the view. Like it's still beautiful, but you don't get as much of it.
That figures.
But where I was going with this is they like the whole stupid sandwich thing. is so much of a thing in Canada that when we went to Ontario, there was a place that had soups and sandwiches, and they were a microbrewery as well. So this is what going back to like Canada and beer brewing. Like Canada's just better about brewing and like microbrewing and all that good stuff. And
Another fun fact is you only have to be 19 to drink, gamble, smoke cigarettes, what have you in Canada.
Yep.
I found that out because last time I was in Canada, it was a month after I turned 19, and it was glorious.
Oh. Here's an interesting thing though. If you are able to get a Canadian beer here, unless you just really have to feel the need to have it, don't actually buy Canadian alcohol in Canada, because let me put it this way. A 4-pack of this costs roughly about $10, maybe. Oh no, I'm bad. It's like $14 here. So a 4-pack of this is roughly about $14 here. Pretty steep in price. For the same beer, 4-pack of it in Quebec itself, you'd be paying about $20. Alcohol
That's just the
is
exchange rate.
extremely.
That's an exchange rate.
No, it's not about Canadian dollar versus American dollars. They have a much higher tax on alcohol in Canada. So ideally, you want to bring as much booze as possible from America, even though they do tell you can only bring so much from America.
But the booze in Canada is much stronger. So you be the judge.
Not this beer, though.
Fuck that beer.
I like
I'm
it.
over it.
I'm down.
Pompous ass tiny bottle of beer.
11.2 is not that tiny, and no, this is a 12 full ounce, so it's 12. It's not even 11.2 like most
Really?
European crap.
It's still pompous.
It is, and it's very pricey too. I think they had places where you get single bottles of Uni-brow of this size for like fucking $5, dude. Just a single bottle of this for $5, like
Right in the face.
in the fucking face.
Anyway,
Yeah,
that was our Canada episode. Yeah. Anyway, so we got some more Canada beers in the future. In the meantime, I almost had a chair arm go up my butt. Exciting, titillating, pompous, Trois Pistoles. This guy likes, and
I can't drink very much of this in very much time, but yeah, I do like this beer. It's just heavy.
Sacre bleu.